Today we're going to be doing a trade recap from a trade I took last night on GBP JPY. I've got to be quick tonight because the session opens in like 2 hours and I'll have this filmed, edited and ready to go so I can film a live trade tonight. So with that said, let's get into it. As you can see, here is the trade. We made 3.54%, just over 3.5% on the trade with a 2.58 risk to reward. Went in with 2% risk. Let's play from the start and see why I took it. Starting on the 4-hour chart, we can see we've had a pretty strong sell-off in the past few days. However, we did have this order block here that we pulled into and rejected off of in the previous few candles. So although we've had a break structure to the downside and price was selling off, I was open to longs. 4-hour bias ended up being both long and short because I was happy for us to continue downwards, break through this order block, but based off of the rejection here with the 2 wicks, I was happy for us also to go long. Moving to the 1-hour chart, similar sort of thing. We did have this huge sell-off, although the sell-off had created a nice imbalance, which we can mark out here, which we were in the lower half of. So coming down, we'd sold off, reached the order block, rejected off of it, broke structure here to the upside. Market was gently pushing up. So again, it was a bit of a long and a short. I was happy to go either on the 1 hour. Further to the 30-minute, it was a bit stronger to the upside. On the 30-minute, I was more happy to go long if we had a break of structure here, break of structure almost here, and a break of structure here. All pushing to the upside. We had a little retracement pre-market. But with that said, I'd put in my liquidity levels both long and short, so we could go short off of this one up here. Label these as liquidity. There we go. There's the liquidity levels. So playing into the session, if we go to the 5-minute chart, here we go. We're waiting for a sweep of either side, and we got a sweep to go long. So at this point, I'm waiting for a break of structure to the upside. We're coming in almost testing this order block again. At the moment, we have a break of structure level also where the liquidity line is. And we broke structure to the upside here on the 5-minute chart. So I went long here, placed my stops just below the lows here. And for my targets, it was a bit of a tricky one because if we move to the high time frame, we had this huge imbalance where my target, where I could quite easily put my take profits at the equilibrium up here. But I ended up putting my final take profit at the highs here, just in case we didn't manage to reach equilibrium. So we entered long. And for take profit 1, we also had this imbalance across here. Let's just drop that down a little bit. Pull that down. There we go. So we had this imbalance here. And I decided against placing them exactly at the equilibrium. Instead, I decided to place them just below the order blocks within this range here. So that hopefully we push up and get a rejection off of these worst case, and we secure take profit 1. So we'd entered 2% risk, 1% on each position. Playing it through, we went into a bit of drawdown. If we go into a lower time frame, was there an order block we pulled into? Sort of. There was a bit of an order block within here that we rejected off of. So I could have got a better entry here if I waited on my second position. But I decided against it, just went in straight away with both positions on the break structure. And the market began to push up. Rejected at the 0.5. I got a little bit nervous, but I held through. We didn't break structure to the downside on this section here, so I continued to hold. And we actually hit take profit 1. Let me label that as take profit 1. We hit take profit 1 just at the close of the session, which secured about 0.96, almost 1%. It was almost a 1-to-1, 0.97. Okay. yeah, so we almost secured 1% off of that, and we had another position running. So I moved stops to break even on the second position, eliminated the risk, secured the 1% profit. Continued to hold and play through. Market pushed up. Let's drag that across. Had a slight pullback, but nothing too serious. Continuing to push. And eventually we broke through take profit 2 and secured another, it was about another 2.5% in profit. If we label that as take profit 2. So there was the trade. In total, across take profit 1 and take profit 2, we ended up making 3.54%, which was just over $700. Not a bad win. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.